Hey guys, Beefcake. We're out here in our 23 Hellcat shop car. Like to try out some different things, some mods. We're going to let you hear the supercharger a little bit. You can hear these superchargers really good on the Hellcats. We love them. We do have a JLT kit. The guys at S&B Filters who own JLT, they sent us a supercharger intake for this. So we're going to put that on. You should be able to hear the supercharger a little bit more. Hopefully, I want to slow down a little bit here, let you guys hear the supercharger whine. Then we're going to drive it again after, because you usually get a little bit more whine out of this thing after you pick it up. So we'll try windows down first. Now we're also going to do the window down. So right now the car is completely stock. I haven't done anything to the car yet. We've got lots of plans, lots of things that we're going to be doing on the car. First the mod going to be the JLT. We've got some widebody suspension sitting there for it. We're going to start out with a cornerstone mid pipe as well for the guys that don't want to do headers. You know, they like to do those cornerstone mid pipes, but we will eventually add some LTH brand headers on there. George and the guys over there, they always do a great job taking care of us, so we really like the LTH headers. Especially at some point we're going to be stepping up to a Whipple 3.0 on this thing, the new Gen 6 kit with the 4 Innovations fuel system, custom tune, dyno tune performance, DTP, Brent Hughes over there. And it's going to be a pretty fun car. Excited for this. We have had I had a 16 Charger Hellcat. I had the Durango Hellcat, which was fun. Then we built the SRT with the built motor. It was actually mid 9-second cars, pretty fast. Used to run down a lot of the Hellcat guys with it. But this, you know, I really like this F8 green. So we're going to do a bunch of cool stuff. Will's working with us with some custom wheels on this thing, so stay tuned to the channel for the updates and upgrades. So the other thing today we're doing is finalizing the drag pack. So we had a few swatches from Prismatic Powders that we grabbed to kind of take a look at the wheels. We want something close to this Brass Monkey package, and I think this works pretty good. Might have a little bit more pearl, but that's pretty cleaned off. Let's hold it up next to the badge here too. But I feel like this is very, 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 very close. So this is the color we're going to end up going with on the drag pack. Nice thing about Prismatic, they'll send you these swatches for free. So we got 3 different ones. Triple bronze, they sent us 2 for some reason, but I think this triple bronze is what we're going to go with. I know you guys seen some pictures. Some of you may have seen some pictures on what else we got coming to try to match the F8 green paint. We'll leave that kind of hidden for now, because today we're focusing on the guys that want to do the JLTs and the bolt-ons and things like that. But this is going to look pretty good on the drag pack. Might as well get a couple revs on this thing, see what it sounds like. Go ahead, Phil. Hey guys, Beefcake here. First modification for the 2023 Hellcat Challenger. We haven't got to do much with it. Well, window tint, we called that the first mod. So today we are installing the JLT cold air intake kit. Pretty nice. JLT used to be independently owned, but it's such a great company. The guys over at S&B decided they wanted to own it because all the S&B filters were going on the JLT intakes. And basically this is going to replace the factory intake on the JLT. Should give us a little bit more sound. They do kind of have that open top design, but it does seal down. But these boxes typically do tend to make a little bit more sound. They have a little bit more airflow, make a little more horsepower. It is a non-tune required. So if you've got a Hellcat, Charger, Challenger, Durango, any of the models, S&B makes a kit for it. You do not need a tune for this. So we're going to get to the install. They do send, they don't send an instruction sheet anymore, but most people have their smartphones or whatever. They do give you the barcode to where you can scan it. You pull up the instructions, but you get the filter, the main part of the air box, 2 parts to your snorkel, all your clamps, everything like that. Your hose tube. Shouldn't be too much of an install. We're going to get to this pretty quick and knock it out for you. We're going to take it back out. We're going to drive it again, see if we get some more sound out of it and any seat of the pants difference. So the instruction barcode didn't take us directly to the page, but they give you the place where you can go straight to the page. So we've got the instructions up on the computer over there. It's going to be pretty simple though. Just basically we're going to be unplugging everything here. unbolting everything to start with. So Phil's going to get that handle. My man Phil. Got the big toolbox. We got it all cleaned up, organized. So it's a lot cleaner out here, easier to find everything we need. We're going to get this air box off and go from there. All right, so the first thing to do, we're going to remove this screw here, the IET. Then we're going to loosen the clamp here, pull this off. Most of this is pretty simple stuff. The intake install in general is pretty easy. The same intake, whether it's a Charger or Challenger, but they do give you some additional extra pieces. And depending on if you have a stock throttle body or the 108, they're going to send you some additional pieces too. That's one of the nice things about this JLT kit is it's a little compatible with multiple things. Next thing they have you do, they want you to cut the barb part of this off the hose. We don't want to damage the fitting, but we do want to get this hose off, so we're going to pull this off. It's not going to be used later. We're going to just get that off the car for the new hose that they supply. Now, you do want to take care when you're cutting this, because since we are using the fitting, you want to make sure that you do not cut the fitting off. So we just cut it down a little further, and then we're going to work our way back with it to get it off and just cut a little bit of time to keep it looking, really nice there. But that way you don't damage the fitting and all. You just kind of work your way up from the outside there. And pulled right off. Barb is perfectly fine, so we're in good shape there. Next up, we're just going to take the two 10mm bolts out. When you loosen the reservoir, it's just going to make it easier. The reservoir isn't coming out, but by loosening the bolts up, it just makes it easier to get all the boxes and everything in and out while you're working on this, because it's pretty tight here on all this stuff. So we're just going to loosen it up, and it's going to make all this easier to pull right out. All right, and with this pulled back, this pulls out, like I said, pulled out pretty easy. We're just going to take this out, and you've got your factory snorkel piece here that pulls down from the headlight area. So we pulled that out, but now you're all cleared out. We're going to get this out. Let's get the new one back in. Now, the next step in the instructions actually tells you to put this piece on, make some relief cuts because it may be hard to fold, but JLT has actually modified this. Most of the time when we see these come in, they already have the seals on there, so that's just something else that you don't have to worry about now. Next step is just put this grommet on the bottom. That just helps hold the piece in place. That was 1 second, pretty easy. Next up, put our little grommet in. In a way, you'd almost think you could just get all this stuff pre-installed, but I get it. You got a little parts bag because these are molded pieces. But again, a lot of this is just running through pretty fast. You just get the little grommet piece in there. Look at Phil. Phil's doing his magic there. Doing a great job, Phil. Great job. Why you say funny stuff off camera, Phil? I can't tell you what he said, but it was pretty funny. Actually, I could. I asked him if he wanted a little lube to make this easier. He said he's never shot porn before, so spinning around worked a little better. We did not use any lube. It went in pretty decently easy, so not too bad. Next up, we're going to remove the old IAT sensor. All right, next up is the IAT sensor. You want to carefully remove that. You don't want to break it. It actually comes out pretty easy. Phil had pre-loosened it just a little bit, but it did come out pretty easy. Okay, so your grommet's in now. We're going to drop the IAT in, and you can see there's a little, gives you a little like where you're going to twist it to. So you kind of drop it in. You're just going to turn it like 90 degrees here. And then it pops right down in there. There's actually a little lip there. It's probably easier if we do it like this and zoom in. And then it pops right over that little lip there. All right, now for the Challenger, this is Challenger only. The Chargers use the stock piece, but the Challengers are going to use this new one. So they give you another large grommet, basically. That's what's going to hold the this tube in. Pops in pretty easily, maybe. Phil can figure out what he's doing here. Phil. So, oh, I guess I should need you move things. I got my camera pointed and you move things. Our viewers are going to be like, hey, what's Phil doing?
Yeah.
Phil.
Don't forget the clamp.
Clamp. Phil is notorious for forgetting clamps. Does that go up or down? Up? Don't know yet. All right. And then that's going to clamp down on that. That's what's going to hold that in. Next up is to remove this piece as part of the install. And I haven't done this before, but it looks like these are just going to kind of pull through on each side. And I think it's just going to pop out. So let's pull these out on this side. I feel like it just pulls out. Yeah. Definitely not super, yeah. That's it. That literally is it. So you got 2 on one side and 2 on the other. I think actually we only need to, that's single pieces, so we only need to remove one of those, and then we've got some handy dandy little clamp removers for this if we need it off. And this other piece shouldn't actually need to come off. Looks like the whole point of removing this is so we can get to the headlight hole here, the hole by the headlights. That way we get the air shooting in. So this is going to drop in, and basically again we put the grommet there. Sorry, Mrs. Beef was taping some boxes in the background over there. And so this grommet here will go into there, and then the tube is going to go in the front onto the headlight. And again, that's why you remove this, just so you can get to everything. And like before, I want to pull up a little bit just to make it a little bit easier on Phil. Phil, get it in the hole. Snorkel in. There you go. You know what? Rotate that down. Phil, look at that. Rotate it down and then rotate it back up as you go in. And this will definitely be easier with 2 people, because if you kind of rotate that down as you're putting it in and then rotate it back, of course, Phil knocked it off. So he's going to have to get it back in the hole, Phil. And then back on. And that'll make everything here a little bit easier. And your grommet there. All right, we get that in the grommet. And then we're going to get this lined up with the headlight hole. And then, like I said, once you find your spot where your grommet is, that holds that in pretty tight. Then, of course, all your new screws and everything, we're going to tighten these back down. And then this pulls from your headlight here, and it also pulls from down underneath there. We look to be in pretty good shape there, so we're going to go ahead, tighten the clamp down underneath here. And then next step will be installing the filter. In this situation, a long extension is your friend. All right, so we just slid the filter in. We slide this tube in, and now we just put the little clamp for the coupler. Super, super easy stuff. Now we're just bolting down the old reservoir. We're going to bolt this front piece in, tighten down our clamps. We will have to run our tube, the new supplied tube, from here to there. That'll be about the last step. Put our piece back on, and we'll be ready to rock. And we're a little anal, but we always like to make sure that the clamps nice and even. Some people don't care about that. You look under the hood and you're like, why not just take 5 seconds to move the clamps and make them even? All right, now we got supplied hose. This uses 2 clamps versus just being kind of a press fit. Put this on. You may change the angle here a little bit. We'll look at it and see what it looks like. See what fits good. I don't think that turned, Phil. That piece back there, I think this turns. I don't think that one does. But we can always pull that back just a hair, or you could trim it if you think we need to.
Pretty good. On the barb.
Is it on the barb good? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, clamp it down, plug it in, and we're ready to rock. All right, tube's on, clamps are down, everything's in, nice, tight, fits good. The box seems off a little bit, like when you first put it down, but once you get it in, tighten it down, everything looks really good. Looks good inside the engine bay here. Should flow a little bit bigger filter. Should flow a little bit more. We're going to do our sound test here. Phil will get the tools off the... Phil, can you put the tools away, Phil? It's hard to find good help, guys. All right. And then we had the hood slightly cracked when we did the first sound test inside. So we're going to fire up, see if we hear any sound difference, and go out and run, see if we can see the hands. People are waiting. Sounds pretty nasty. Let's go take her for a drive. All right, pretty much same spot we were at before. We're going to slow down, just give it a little hit, see how much we feel. Again, I'd like to do some back-to-back quarter-mile times, but we didn't quite get that done. See how she sounds. I mean, you hear the blower pretty good. I'm not sure if it's much louder than it was before. What do you think, Phil?
A little bit louder.
Is it a little bit louder?
Just a touch.
Just a touch louder? What do we do different here?
Windows down.
Oh, windows down. I knew there was something we did. you think? Louder?
A little bit.
A little bit? She definitely sounds pretty good. Like I said, I'd love to get some back-to-back track times. We actually haven't had a chance to get this out to the track. Still don't have the drag pack yet. You know, like you saw earlier with the swatches, we're working on some colors for that. Got some other parts arrived today. We got our Suncoast converter and our Suncoast 8HP 90 rebuild kit. So we're going to be doing all that at the same time with the next upgrades we got coming. So we're pretty excited for that. Like I said, we got a lot of things coming for this one. Again, beefcakeracing.com. Hit us up for all your Challenger Charger, Hellcat needs, Ram truck needs, all your Ford and Chevy GM needs, and we're going to get you dialed in. It's a great Labor Day weekend. We got lots of sales going. Hit us up, guys. Thank you.